Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel, where South African politics is never dull, always dramatic, and full of spicy plot twists that would make even a telenovela jealous. Today, we are diving into a story that has left many political observers gobsmacked. One of the founding leaders of the MK party, yes, Jacob Zuma's very own political brainchild, has jumped ship. That's right, Nombuso Mkhize, the Deputy Secretary-General of MK, has officially joined Mayibuye Afrika, and not just as a member, but as their new Head of Presidency. Jow, you heard that correctly. A high-level defection just months after MK party's debut on the national stage. Now, before we get into the juicy details, do us a favor, like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. We want to hear your take on this bombshell. Alright, let's break it all down. Mkhize wasn't just some anonymous backbencher. She was one of the original architects of the MK party machine, helping steer it through the chaotic post-launch period and its controversial court battles with the ANC over the name and branding. In other words, she was part of the MK kitchen, cooking the strategy, not just serving the plates. So when she didn't show up to a critical MK party leadership meeting earlier this week, tongues started wagging. Was she sick? On leave? In hiding? No. She was preparing for her next political chapter, and this time, it doesn't include Jacob Zuma. Multiple sources confirmed over the weekend that Mkhize has resigned from the MK party and joined Mayibuye Afrika, a smaller but fast-rising political party that brands itself as a progressive alternative for South Africans tired of recycled politics. And they've wasted no time, they've already installed her as Head of Presidency, meaning she'll be overseeing top-level political strategy, coordination, and, wait for it, 2026 election preparations. This is huge. Let's be honest, defections in South African politics are nothing new. But this one hits different. Because it isn't just about leaving one party for another. It's about sending a message. Sources close to Mkhize say she became disillusioned with the MK party's direction, or perhaps lack thereof. Despite all the revolutionary slogans and promises to return to real liberation politics, insiders say MK has become chaotic, top-heavy, and internally fractured. And you don't have to dig far to see the cracks. Since their surprise showing in the 2024 elections, MK has been in disarray. Zuma remains the dominant personality, but the party has struggled to institutionalize itself. Courtroom losses, internal divisions, and failed coalition talks have all added up. Add to that the frustration of some leaders being sidelined by Zuma's inner circle, and it's not hard to see why Mkhize, a serious political organizer, wanted out. Now enter Mayibuye Afrika. This party is still relatively small, but it's been making steady inroads in provinces like Gauteng, KZN, and the Eastern Cape. Their pitch? Accountability, grassroots activism, and Pan-African values without the cult of personality politics we've seen elsewhere. And now, by bringing in someone like Mkhize, they're sending a bold message, they're ready to punch above their weight. Make no mistake, this is a calculated move. You don't bring in a high-profile defector unless you're preparing for something bigger. And with municipal by-elections around the corner and the 2026 elections on the horizon, Mayibuye is clearly gearing up for a national breakout. Mkhize will be central to that strategy. But let's talk about the timing. The fact that this defection comes so soon after MK's electoral debut says a lot. Most parties would be using this time to consolidate power, build structure, and unify their supporters. Instead, MK is losing key leaders. And here's the kicker, they haven't even issued an official statement yet. Silence. Nada. It's almost like they're hoping the story will disappear on its own. Spoiler alert, it won't. In fact, this may just be the start of a leadership exodus. Political analysts say Mkhize's move could inspire others in MK's top brass who feel frustrated, overlooked, or burned out by the party's direction. Once one leader leaves, others often follow. Especially if they think the ship is heading for icebergs and the captain refuses to change course. Let's also not forget the optics. The MK party is built almost entirely around the cult of Jacob Zuma. And while that worked in the 2024 elections, it doesn't guarantee long-term success. People want leadership, structure, and vision, not just nostalgia for the old struggle days. And if Zuma can't offer that, more defections like Mkhize's are inevitable. Now here's where it gets really interesting. By joining Mayibuye, Mkhize has placed herself on the opposite side of Zuma's political agenda. And don't be surprised if she becomes one of the leading voices of opposition to the MK party. She knows their inner workings, their weaknesses, their organizational style. If Mayibuye wants to win MK's support base, especially in rural KZN, they've now got someone who knows exactly how to go about it. So, where do we go from here? Mayibuye is expected to hold a press briefing later this week. We'll likely see Mkhize formally introduced in her new role, along with a roadmap for how the party plans to expand its presence nationally. Expect sharp jabs at MK, expect clever political positioning. And don't be surprised if a few more names start leaking as potential defectors. Meanwhile, over in the MK camp, all eyes are on Zuma. Will he downplay the loss? Pretend Mkhize was never important? Or will he acknowledge the internal problems and try to bring the house in order? We'll wait and see. But one thing is certain, MK is no longer bulletproof. This isn't just about one person leaving a party. It's about the first serious fracture in Jacob Zuma's new political vehicle. And if Mayibuye plays their cards right, this could be the beginning of a new center of political gravity in South Africa. So what do you think? Is this the fall of the MK party's grip on Zuma loyalists? Is Mkhize a game changer for Mayibuye? Could this shift the 2026 elections in ways no one predicted? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear what you think about this political earthquake. And remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any updates from us. There's more coming, trust me. South African politics never sleeps. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, see you next time.